Hey everyone, my name is Justin, aka Ghost Reader, and today is Wednesday, the third day of the POC-a-thon. It's a nice day out, well, so far. Though supposed to get some rain later, hopefully not. But yeah, so I have just finished my morning listen of 100 Years of Solitude, and it is still a great read so far. Gabriel Marquez adds in to his story a story about, or incident about the impact of American companies and Latin America, and the power and pull that they had at that time. And you see this conflict with the union and how a member of the family get caught up in it. And it's just really good. It was really kind of scary how what the company ends up doing, along with government help, to keep the workers of the company in line, and how they kind of cover up what they do. But it's been a great read so far. So the plan for today really is to continue reading and maybe even finish. I only have about 3 hours left in the book. Finish 100 Years of Solitude. Continue reading A Place for Us, and definitely the 3-Body Problem, because that book was just great in the 60 pages that I read. So definitely will be continuing that today. And let me see. And then I'm going to probably pick up another book, since I finished obviously yesterday. But so far I've been doing really good with my reads. I don't think I've read this much in a while, or at least this many books at one time in a while. So I'm really enjoying it. Hope to have a great day today at work. Hopefully maybe doing some breaks, get some time to read, and I'll check back in with my progress. Hey guys, I'm back, and I finished reading 100 Years of Solitude. It is a great book. I can see why the author, Gabriel Marquez, gets a lot of attention and props for what he did with this book. I enjoyed listening to it, and I think that I'm definitely going to go out and buy a physical copy at some point, just because I think it's a book that I would like to take my time and really sit down and dive deep into, because there's so much in the book. It's not just simply a generational story, but there's a lot of symbolism and things that are going on that I kind of could get from listening to it, but I think we'll get an even better glimpse at looking at it on the page. So I'm probably definitely going to pick up a copy of that at some point. But it was an amazing book. I give it 5 stars. It was definitely a 5-star read for me. I really liked what he did. I don't think that I sometimes I just in awe of things that writers can do. The last book I read that I kind of was in awe of what they did was Hyperion by Dan Simmons. The way that he wrote that was really great, and the same thing with this book. The way in which it was told, the way in which he kind of weaved magical realism into it, and some of the themes that were in 100 Years of Solitude. I mean, it was just great. So yep, definitely will be picking up a solid copy of that. And then I went on to do some more reading in searching for Black Confederates. Basically, so far, I think I'm on chapter 5 now. About halfway through the book. And basically, he's just kind of pointing out that a lot of evidence that people use to show that Black African slaves were considered soldiers by the Confederates. Actually, when you look at the context in which some of this evidence presented, isn't necessarily true. Once you look at it in the context in which the evidence is part of, you see that it's not that simple and clear cut. So a lot of the black slaves that are considered today soldiers were actually camp slaves, and it talks about how after the war, a lot of people would have just considered them camp slaves. They wouldn't consider them soldiers. And when you look at a lot of these reunions and stories from these reunions, a lot of them aren't claiming to have like stormed like Union lines or anything like that, but they're saying that they were camp slaves of such and such, and that like I stood by my master throughout the whole war, I helped rescue him, or like, you know, I just served my master throughout the whole war. And so there's this bond there between the Confederate soldiers and also these camp slaves that were also present in the wars because of their shared experiences. But even though they had these shared experiences and kind of gave these black camp slaves prominence in their ranks and in the reunions, they still were kind of this reminder for white Southerners that even in this new world, that there were blacks still had a place in their society. These camp slaves were harking back to a time where their fathers and grandfathers where there were clear distinctions between who was master, who was slaves, and these slaves were the obedient, good types of blacks, unlike the new generation of blacks who are kind of trying to go against the status quo of being second-class citizens. You have these blacks who are kind of stepping into that role and embracing that role and finding pride in the role of being a camp slave, and kind of taking and benefiting from that in a way, because they were in the good graces of whites, and some were in such good graces that they could go out and collect money to fund their trips to these reunions and so forth. And then the chapter I'm on now is talking about pensions and how a lot of people were pointing to pensions that were being given out, and saying that this is evidence that these were actually soldiers because they were pensioned. And the author presents that as not being necessarily the case, that these pensions were given out because a lot of the veterans from the wars, because they had the shared experience of being at least present on the battlefield, if not participating directly in the fighting, at least present in the battlefield, being in the same dealing with the same hardships on the road and on the march and things like that, that they did feel sorry for some of them who were living in a lot of times in poverty. So there was a fight for pensions for some of these camp slaves. Not a lot of them got it. I think he said only about 2,800, which I think is a small percentage of the amount of camp slaves that would have been present. So yeah, that's the chapter I'm on now. That was really it's been an interesting read so far. I'm taking a lot of notes because I want to review this book. I actually got it from NetGalley, so that's why I'm going to actually do a dedicated review for it. And actually, I think like the last 3 videos I've done that have been reviews are all NetGalley books that I not only do video reviews for, but I'm also writing written reviews for most of them, besides Liberty or Death. I'm not doing a written one. Well, I did a quick written one for Goodreads, but for the other ones I've done written reviews for, 2 of them are under review now, so I'll let you guys know when those come out, and I'll post links on my Twitter and whatnot. But also now I'm going to the rest of the evening I'm going to dive into the 3-body problem, which is so far really good. Really liking it, and I'm not sure exactly. I'm going to probably pick one of the graphic novels that I wanted to get into, maybe Livewire tonight, and probably start that, maybe even finish it, and then we'll go from there. So I came to Barnes & Noble's at a mall nearby to get a physical copy of 100 Years of Solitude, and all that they have are his collected stories. That's it. How you not have... I don't understand this. Okay, never mind. They do have it. It's just in their summer reading section, so... I have a physical copy now. Can't wait to actually read this at some point in the future and really dive into it. Definitely need to shoot my video on this title. It's been a while since I read it, but I'm definitely doing that at some point in the near future. I also realized that I have the Monster-a-thon next month, and I don't really have a lot of titles for that particular readathon, which is a problem because I'm a host for it. So I'm going to see if I can pick up some here today. Now that I left Barnes and Nobles, I am in the mood for something to eat, and I think I'm in the mood for breakfast. So guys, I am finally home, but I am pooped. It's been a long day. Didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight. So before I sign off, I just want to talk about the 3 body problem real quick. I did some more reading in this, and it is quite I'm not sure where the story's going. I like it so far, but I'm not sure. They had this whole video game sequence that I'm not sure what the meaning of it was. I think I know what the meaning of it was, but I'm not exactly sure. But it does seem to be coming around to, in a way, the story seems to be coming to a full circle. Well, not a full circle, but kind of connecting some threads. One of the main characters from the beginning is popping up again, so that's good. But I'm really enjoying reading it so far. And then I picked up 4 books. So the paper copy of 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Marquez. Then I picked up Star Wars Thrawn by Timothy Zahn. I haven't read any of the new Star Wars canon stuff, so this is I look forward to this. Thrawn was a very interesting character in the old the legacy Star Wars, the stuff that isn't canon anymore. So I'm expecting to be just as good in this. This is maybe one of my reads for the Monster readathon. I'm not exactly sure, but next one definitely will be. And that's Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Don't know much about it, but I do know that it deals with vampires, so there's that. And then I saw on the bargain rack Stephen King's Dark Tower, the Gunslinger. So I've heard about this, but never really haven't really delved into it at all. So yeah, I'll be definitely reading this during the Monster readathon. So yeah, that is it for today. It's been long. It is hot. I have the fan off so you guys can hear me, so I need to go ahead and wrap up this video because it is very humid today. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at GhostReads28, and also on Instagram at Justin the Ghost Reader, and on Goodreads. The link to that is down in the description box below. So as always, keep reading.